After weathering countless storms, when Diep once left James to secure the money needed to save her mother, and he relentlessly went after her, they managed to overcome every obstacle together. One winter day, just as their love had been strengthened by long hours working together on the farm, Diep's family secret was suddenly exposed. In episode 36, the stakes are higher than ever. While James bravely defends her against the pain of her past, new challenges emerge. The CEO James is deceived by a rival in a critical business deal, and Diep must come to terms with accepting a distant adoptive mother from a heartbreaking past. Can they hold on to their faith and love amid this onslaught of trials? In the dim light of early morning, James sits inside the cabin of his sleek black Ford Raptor, parked by the red dirt road leading into Tanmin village. A brief moment of satisfaction warms him as he thinks of Diep, his beloved, and the days they spent working together on the farm. Suddenly, the phone rings, cutting through his thoughts. He answers in his deep, steady voice. "Hello, this is James." A rushed voice from the other end belonging to Tuan declares, "Boss, John's company along with several other small firms have just pulled their investments from the F-25 rice project. The situation is terrible." James freezes, his eyes widening in disbelief as he grips the phone tighter. "What did you say? Why would this happen so suddenly?" Tuan responds, "I'm not entirely sure, but all our partners have withdrawn. Only Duke hasn't replied yet. You need to handle this immediately." James nods silently, placing the phone down as his gaze drifts out toward the misty fields in the distance. His heart sinks with worry. Who is this John that's sabotaging his dream? This project is his passion, and now with the funding pulled, what will he do? Leaning back, he buries his face in his hands, burdened by the thought of the long, hard days spent with Diep and the workers, silently vowing that he cannot let everything collapse. He must find a way. Meanwhile, at the Tanmin village market, Diep walks among bustling stalls. Her worn rubber sandals squeak softly on the damp red ground as the sounds of vendors hawking vegetables and the chatter of buyers fill the air, mingling with the faint scent of earth in the December chill. Her eyes light up when she spots a stall selling light bulbs amid a tangle of crooked wooden booths. The gentle sunlight filters through faded tarps, highlighting each item for sale. Diep wants to buy bulbs to brighten the chicken and duck coop at the farm, the very place where she and James care for their beloved poultry with all their heart. Wearing a patched-up thin shirt that does little to fend off the cold, she shivers as the chill seeps through the fabric, her frail shoulders trembling in the cold wind. Yet her heart is warmed by thoughts of the little chicks and ducklings she nurtures daily alongside James. A plump vendor named Hoa, clad in a worn red knit sweater, greets her with a cheerful smile. "Diep, what are you buying today?" In a soft, bright voice, she replies. "Could I have 3 light bulbs, please? They'll help light up the coop. It's too cold for them otherwise." Hoa nods kindly and explains, "These 3 will be 175,000 dong altogether. Is that okay?" Diep carefully pulls out a few crumpled banknotes from her pocket, smoothing each one as she hands them over, silently promising herself that with light, her chickens and ducks will be warm, and she must do well so that James can rest easy, even though he's been so busy lately. The next early morning, Diep is out in the garden picking fruit. Her slender, dirt-stained hands work gently as she plucks ripe, plump pomelos dangling from the branches. Soft sunlight streams through the dense canopy, causing dewdrops to glisten on the leaves like tiny jewels. The rustling of leaves and the cheerful chirping of birds create a gentle symphony in the crisp air. A smile brightens her face as she thinks of James, whispering to herself, "He's busy today. I must do my best. He always believes in me." Once her basket is full of fruit, each pomelo a testament to her hard work, she carries it into the modest wooden house. Walking softly across the cold dirt floor, she settles by the small stove, where a flickering fire offers a bit of warmth. As the red glow spreads through her cold hands, a heavy memory suddenly washes over her. The image of Tuan alone caring for his mother at the hospital, the worried look in his eyes as he pushed her on a wheelchair into the emergency room, his hands gripping hers as if afraid to let go, and the deep lines of exhaustion and duty on his face. Diep sighs, exhaling white puffs in the cold air, her heart burning with regret. Just yesterday, she had been angry with Tuan when he said she wasn't his biological sister. She now realizes that he and her mother only ever wanted what was best for her. Her heart softens with compassion, and she resolves to go to the hospital to apologize. They are her family now, even if not by blood, and she cannot bear to see them in sorrow. As she stands to gather a few fruits and wraps a warm scarf around her neck, James suddenly appears at the doorway, his tall silhouette outlined in the pale morning light cutting through her swirling thoughts. James steps onto the farm, his eyes troubled over the bad news from Tuan about the withdrawal of funds, his heart heavy with worry. He sees Diep carefully inspecting the chicken coop under the gentle sun, and his deep voice carries softly over the clucking of the birds. "Diep, I'm here." Her face lights up with joy as she exclaims, "James, you came to check on the chickens and ducks?" He nods, his rubber boots crunching on the hard ground. "Yes, I wanted to see how you're doing." Diep leads him through the coop, her eyes tenderly scanning the healthy flock. "They're doing well, thanks to you helping me build it yesterday," she says, warmly. James smiles proudly. After a moment, with a slightly hesitant yet determined tone, Diep admits, "James, I want to go to the hospital and apologize to Mum and Tuan. I was so angry with them yesterday." Taking her hand, his grip warm and reassuring, he replies, "I'll take you there. You don't have to face this alone." At the local hospital in Tan Minh, Diep sits beside Mrs. Lan's bed in a small, stuffy room. The flickering neon lights cast a pale glow on her frail face, and each deep wrinkle tells the story of a hard, exhausting life. Diep clutches her mother's cold hand with her own, trembling, slender fingers, her voice choked with emotion as she murmurs, "Mom, I'm sorry for being angry with Tuan yesterday. Even if you're not my biological mother, I've always loved you as my own. I was wrong to be so cold." Mrs. Lan manages a weak smile, her cracked lips parting slightly as she replies in a soft, fragile voice, "You're such a good girl, Diep. I've always considered you my daughter. You are my joy." They talk for a long while, and Diep pours out her heart, recounting the pain of learning the truth and her own harsh words. "I thought I'd lost everything," she admits through tears. "But now I understand that you and Tuan only ever wanted the best for me." Mrs. Lan gently strokes her hair. "Don't be sad, my dear. I'm still here." Diep feels a weight lift from her heart, as if a heavy burden has finally been eased. Later, James drives alone to the village market. His worn leather shoes patter softly on the red, dusty ground as he recalls the devastating news of the project's funding withdrawal. John's company and several smaller partners have betrayed him, jeopardizing his beloved F-25 rice project. Determined to save the project, he stops by a fruit stall and picks out a bag of oranges and pomelos, his voice low as he pays quickly, "Pack it up, I'm taking these to see a patient." Returning to the hospital, he enters Mrs. Lan's room and finds Toon sitting worriedly by her bed. "How is your mum doing, Toon?" James asks gently. Tuan looks up, relief softening his tone. "She's doing a bit better, thank you for asking, boss." James hands Tuan the bag of fruit and some spare change from his jacket pocket, his eyes sincere as he says, "Take these and take good care of her. Don't worry too much." Tuan's hands tremble as he accepts the gift, his voice thick with gratitude. "Thank you so much, boss. You've been so kind to my family." After leaving the hospital, Diep and Tuan step outside into the cool evening. The fading light casts golden hues over the bare trees, and as they stand facing each other, Diep's eyes fill with a mix of determination and vulnerability. In a soft yet sincere voice, she says, "Tuan, I'm sorry for being angry with you yesterday. I was so shocked and hurt. But now I choose to accept you and Mum as my family. Please don't be sad anymore." Tuan nods, his eyes glistening with remorse as he replies, "I'm sorry for keeping it from you, Diep. I only wanted Mum to be happy and for you to have a family. I was wrong not to tell you sooner." They share a quiet moment, smiles slowly breaking through their pain. Diep reaches out and clasps Tuan's hand. "From now on, you'll be like a brother to me, right?" Tuan smiles gently. "Yes, you'll always be my little sister." Later that evening, as the sun dips below the horizon, James and Diep leave the hospital. Hand in hand, they head to the Tan Minh Village Festival, a lively celebration filled with laughter, cheers, and the vibrant glow of hundreds of red paper lanterns hanging high above the crowded red dirt streets. The rhythmic beat of drums and the energetic shouts of young people competing in tug-of-war blend with the aroma of grilled snacks wafting through the air. They find a quiet corner to sit on a worn wooden bench beneath a flickering lantern. James orders 2 cups of sugarcane juice, his deep voice steady amidst the festive clamor. "My company is in trouble. John pulled out, and our partners have abandoned us. But I'll get through this. Don't worry." Diep squeezes his hand, her cold fingers warming at his touch, and replies in a soft, assuring tone, "I believe in you, James. Thank you for always being there for me. Today I choose to accept Mom and Tuan as my family." James smiles, his eyes shining with pride. "I'm the lucky one, Diep. And what about your feelings for Mum?" With a gentle smile, Diep responds, "I've been an orphan for so long, but now having Mum and Tuan makes me feel complete. Even if they aren't my biological family, they are my family." James nods. I'm proud of you, Diep. Later, at James's woodworking mill in Tan Minh, Duck waits beneath the fading glow of dusk. Tall and lean in his faded grey suit with his hands tucked in his pockets, his cold eyes scan the neatly stacked piles of wood beside the whirring saws, the scent of fresh timber mingling with the earthy chill of the sound of a car approaching catches his attention. James steps out of his sleek black Ford Raptor, his worn leather shoes clicking on the ground. Though his eyes betray a hint of fatigue over the lost investment and betrayal that have plagued his F-25 project, his demeanor remains calm. Hello, Duke. Have you been waiting long? Duke nods, speaking in a measured tone. Hello, James, I just arrived. What's on the James folds his arms, his gaze sharp as he states, my company needs wood for production, specifically 200 tons per day. Can you supply that? Duke frowns, his eyes briefly scanning the piled wood as he considers the numbers. I can, but currently I only have 10 mills, each capable of 50 tons, totaling 500 tons per month. To meet 200 tons a day, I'd need to open 15 more mills. This would take about 2 to 3 months. James sighs, a trace of worry in his voice. I know you're a major supplier from Tien Son, but 200 tons a day is our minimum order to fulfill our contracts. Tuan, my main manager, also needs a steady supply. How do you propose we handle this? Duke offers a wry smile, his tone cool. I can prioritize Tuan's mill, but it would require a 10% price increase because it's an expedited expansion. My company currently delivers 200 to 300 tons per day in Tien Son, but here in Tan Minh the infrastructure is less developed. James exhales slowly, his eyes clouded with sadness. I'm in a bind. John's withdrawal and the partner betrayals have put my project at risk. I need the wood urgently. Can't you deliver more? Duke shrugs. If you need it urgently, I can only deliver 50 tons per day at first, with the balance arriving gradually. James grips his hands tightly, his voice resolute. 50 tons won't cut it. I need at least 100 tons per day to hold things together. Please, reconsider. Duke's gaze narrows with cautious deliberation. All right, I'll try for 100 tons, but we need a clear contract. I can't wait indefinitely. They negotiate further, numbers and terms repeated in measured tones, James pleading softly while Duke remains unyielding. Finally, no agreement is reached. James sighs deeply. For now, think it over. I'll call you back. Duke nods. Okay, goodbye. James walks back to his car, his heart heavy with the thought, I have to find another way. As he drives away, Duke stands alone amid the stacks of wood, his cold eyes following the disappearing vehicle through the fading mist. In a low, almost whispered tone, Duke murmurs, just wait, James. I'll get back everything your family took from mine, piece by piece. When James is deceived by his rival and Diep finds the strength to accept her adoptive mother, will their love endure these new challenges? Stay tuned for episode 37, where Diep begins her apprenticeship at James's company and further hardships loom on the horizon. Tune in to find out.
Tưởng chừng đã chạm đến trái tim cô, một bóng đen từ quá khứ lại hiện về, kéo theo những nghi ngờ và nỗi sợ hãi. Liệu trái tim Diệp có đủ dũng cảm để đón nhận hạnh phúc, hay cô mãi bị giam cầm trong chính những vết thương lòng không lành? Câu trả lời nằm trong những giờ khắc cảm xúc của tập 13 này. Chúc các bạn nghe truyện vui vẻ. Diệp đứng giữa cánh rừng thưa, nơi những chiếc lá rong xanh mướt rủ xuống như những tấm rèm tự nhiên. Ánh nắng đầu ngày xuyên qua tán cây, chiếu lên khuôn mặt cô những vệt sáng mờ nhạt, làm nổi bật đôi mắt trầm buồn. Hôm nay cô quyết định đi hái lá rong để bán. Một công việc đơn giản nhưng đủ để cô cảm thấy mình còn giá trị trong cuộc sống đầy bất ổn này. Trong lòng cô, một ý nghĩ lặp đi lặp lại. Như tiếng gió rít qua rừng, cô cần tiền không chỉ để sửa sang trang trại mà giam đã cho cô ở nhờ, mà còn để chứng minh rằng cô có thể tự đứng vững, không còn phụ thuộc vào sự thương hại của bất kỳ ai, kể cả anh. Cô bước đi, tay cầm chiếc cùi tre đã sờn cũ, đôi chân chai sạn đẫm lên những chiếc lá khô kêu xào xạc. Mỗi bước chân là một lần cô tự nhủ rằng mình phải mạnh mẽ, và quên đi những ngày tháng bị hành hạ trong căn nhà của Bao. Người chồng cũ từng biến cô thành nô lệ là một người vợ, từng biến cô thành nô lệ hơn là một người vợ, nhưng khi